Welcome to our daily reflection for this Wednesday, January 17th. And today we have more lessons from King David. He's going to go out, consult with King Saul, but he's going to go out and fight Goliath. So this is the famous and beloved story, the David and Goliath story. Goliath, this great giant of a man who is a professional warrior, and David, who's a shepherd boy. David goes out because Goliath is challenging any Israelite to come out and fight him, and no one has the courage to face him. And of course, of all people, King Saul should go out and face Goliath, because Saul, we're told, when he's made king, was the tallest of all Israel by his shoulder up, right? So he's the biggest of all the Israelites, but he doesn't have the courage to fight against Goliath. But David, the shepherd boy, does. Why does David have the courage? And here we find one of the secrets to courage in salvation history and in life. What's the secret behind courage and great bravery, heroic bravery? Faith. David has faith in God. When Saul says, look, you're just a youth, inexperienced, a novice, you can't fight Goliath. He's been a soldier from his youth. He's a professional and he's bigger than you. And David says, look, the Lord who delivered me from the claws of the bear and the lion when I had to save my sheep, he will also deliver me from this Philistine. And in other words, David can look back on his life and realize those trials I had earlier in my life, God delivered me in the midst of those trials. So the God who delivered me from the bear and the lion will now deliver me from this bigger trial of Goliath. Now, I love that. I love it that it's David's faith that emboldens him. And sometimes we forget to use, as Christians, faith to calculate. Sometimes we look at, there's these risks, these problems, but we don't see how faith and trust in God can give us the courage to overcome those fears and those risks. And so David, he has that bold courage. And I love that. And, as St. John Henry Newman said, a venture of faith requires exactly that, faith. There's a lot of things we wouldn't risk if we didn't have faith. But if we have faith, there's many things we would be willing to risk. And so the question for us in our reflection here is, what am I afraid of? And what am I not risking and venturing to do for the Lord because I'm afraid of failure? And maybe I'm afraid that if I share the faith with my kids or my neighbor or my coworker, I'll fail. Well, let's take that to prayer today. And I love that David takes 5 smooth stones to go out and fight the great giant. 5 represents the Torah for the Jews, the Word of God. So he goes armed in a sense with the Word of God and faith in God, and he is victorious. So let's go forward in our trials and difficulties today, armed with the Word of God and faith and trust in Jesus. And we too can prevail over our enemies and over our fears. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.